Welcome to the Nordic Venture Show, your speed date with the coolest ventures, brightest founders, and exciting things happening in the Nordics. In this episode, our venture date is with Axcels, one of the pitch competition winners at the Maria 01 Now 2025 event.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into something really critical for tech companies, especially those smaller, agile ones, the SMEs. We're looking at marketing, its role in growth, and, well, how AI is basically changing the whole game. Our mission, like always, is to give you that quick shortcut, get you up to speed on this space because it's moving fast.
It really is. And, something that often gets missed, but it's quite fascinating, is this core challenge. You have these tech companies, brilliant at building amazing tech, right? They innovate constantly. But then getting that value across, communicating it effectively to the market, that's often where things get tricky. And it's not just a small thing, it's a real gap. It can actually create, a growth ceiling for companies that otherwise have huge potential. If you can't say what you do clearly, scaling is just tough.
Okay, yeah, let's unpack that, because tech SMEs, they have their own unique marketing problems, don't they?
Yeah.
First off, there's always the issue of time and resources, just never enough, it seems. Creates bottlenecks. And then, trying to explain complex technical stuff, making it accessible, compelling, that's hard. Plus, keeping the brand message consistent, across LinkedIn, the blog, everywhere, it's a real juggle. And all this while they desperately need to scale fast, get into the market quickly, marketing ends up being this massive hurdle.
Precisely. And, to make it really concrete, we heard from a tech founder based in Berlin, actually, who put it very, very directly. He said, content marketing is critical for us, but the reality, it's brutal. I spend maybe 2-4 hours on just one good post. And to see any real impact, he said, you kind of need to publish almost daily.
Wow, daily. That's intense.
It is. And he went on, AI tools, they just produce generic high-level BS. It actually damages our credibility. And that really highlights what we're calling the CEO time trap. You get founders, marketing leads, spending maybe 10, even 15 hours a week just trying to create content.
Printing it out.
Yeah. And often the generic AI stuff they might try, it just turns out, well, like he said, high-level BS. Doesn't sound authentic, erodes trust. And here's a really powerful way someone put it. Code has CI/CD. Marketing doesn't.
Okay, hang on. CI/CD. For listeners who aren't deep in the dev world, what exactly is that?
Oh, good question. Right. CI/CD is continuous integration, continuous delivery. It's basically a set of practices in software development. Teams merge code changes often, and they're automatically tested and pushed out.
Okay, so like automated pipelines for code.
Exactly. It means developers can get updates and features out quickly, reliably, no major holdups. The point is, software development has these, sophisticated automated workflows, marketing. Often it's still manual, fragmented, feels cobbled together sometimes.
Right.
And without that effective, consistent content flow, companies just lose out on so much potential visibility market share. It's not just a marketing issue, then it becomes a direct hit to the business's growth potential. It really is a ceiling.
So that's the challenge laid out pretty clearly. This content time trap, the visibility gap. How do tech SMEs break through that? This seems like where a more specialized solution, maybe powered by AI, could really make a difference.
Exactly. Imagine an AI platform for content marketing, but one that's like purpose-built for these tech SMEs. Its whole goal is to, supercharge their growth, cut through the noise, get their unique value across clearly, and let them scale marketing without, killing themselves.
Okay, so like building that CI/CD pipeline, but for marketing. Applying that same kind of streamlined thinking.
You got it. Mirroring how those advanced tools have totally changed developer workflows. And crucially, a platform like this tackles those core problems we talked about head on. It streamlines things massively through intelligent automation, cuts down hugely on the manual grunt work that just eats up time.
Right, freeing people up.
Yeah. And its capabilities are broad. It can create really compelling content, importantly, on-brand content, at scale. Consistency is baked in. But it's not just creation. It optimizes campaigns using real-time data, real insights, so you can adjust on the fly.
Data-driven decisions, not just guessing.
Precisely. And maybe one of the biggest things, it helps tech SMEs reach global markets much more easily. It's really an operational shift, not just, a slightly better tool. It opens up new ways to grow.
That sounds really promising. Let's get into the nuts and bolts then. What are the specific features making this happen? You mentioned an AI content generator. How is that different?
Well, It's at the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just about like churning out text. It's
Oh.
designed to create genuinely compelling stuff aligned with the brand's voice and fast minutes, not hours. The key is that the AI is trained to understand the company, its unique voice, the technical details.
Wow, so it gets the nuances.
Exactly. So the materials actually resonate, whether it's on social media or a deep dive blog post, it sounds like them. That tackles the inconsistent messaging problem head on. And it has deeper capabilities too, things like behavioral targeting, dynamic recommendations, making sure the content actually connects with the right people.
Okay, so the AI creates this smart on-brand content,
Yeah,
but then you need to get it out there.
right. Step 2 is distribution. That's where multi-channel publishing comes in. Makes it effortless, basically. Share across social, blogs, ad platforms, wherever your audience hangs out. And because the content's already consistent, that strong brand voice is everywhere. Streamlines the whole process, saves time, builds a much more solid online presence.
Makes sense. Create once, distribute easily everywhere.
And then building on that, you need to know if it's actually working. That's the performance analytics piece. It's a real game changer.
How so?
It gives you real-time tracking. You see instantly how the content is performing, how the audience is engaging. So you can make immediate data-backed decisions, fine-tune the strategy. No more just, throwing content out there and hoping. You optimize continuously for real business results, not just like likes or views, measurable impact.
Right, tying it back to actual business goals.
Exactly. And for companies looking bigger, thinking globally, the localization tools are huge. They let you adapt content easily for different markets, different languages, but crucially, keeping that brand voice consistent and authentic across cultures.
So you can actually expand globally without watering down your message.
Precisely. Confidently enter new markets. And beyond these, there are other sort of advanced AI bits woven in, things like adaptive learning models the system learns and gets better over time based on what works, visual recognition for handling images and video consistently, persona-driven precision for really targeted campaigns. And it's all wrapped in a secure AI shield to protect the company's sensitive info. These are key for staying ahead, really.
Okay, this sounds quite comprehensive. But let's circle back to that earlier point. What really makes this different from, say, just using ChatGPT or some other generic AI, the ones that produce the high-level BS?
Yeah, fair question. It boils down to a few key things. First, it's the training. This kind of platform isn't generic. It's specifically trained on deep tech domain knowledge. It understands software, cloud, specific dev concepts, the language tech companies actually use.
So it speaks their language, essentially.
Second, it's a complete suite. It's not just text, it handles images, video, even avatars potentially. And critically, it has collaboration workflows built right in. That ensures brand consistency across all these formats. Trying to achieve that with, say, a separate agency for video, another tool for text, maybe freelancers, it gets messy fast. This integrates it.
Right, consistency becomes a real challenge with multiple point solutions or agencies.
Exactly. And connecting this to the bigger picture, this integrated approach, it really could transform marketing, like DevOps transforms software development. It's about creating that continuous, smooth pipeline for getting your message out and establishing your market presence.
A CI/CD for marketing, like you said.
Precisely. And there's a strategic vision behind it, unfolding in maybe 3 phases. Phase 1 is all about launch faster, communicate better, helping companies just get their go-to-market going quickly with content that's technically accurate and on-brand, getting them co-sell ready fast, avoiding those typical launch delays.
Okay, so speed and clarity from the get-go.
Yeah. Then phase 2 is building a scalable execution engine. This is about enabling high-quality campaigns across multiple formats, multiple platforms, AWS, Azure, whatever, without bottlenecks, without burning out the marketing team, basically giving them the capacity to execute at scale.
Marketing superpowers, almost.
Kind of. And then phase 3 is about global co-marketing excellence, adapting content effectively for local markets, different cultural nuances, meeting the standards of the big hyperscalers, positioning these SMEs as really top-tier partners globally. The vision is AI, helping scale the unique voice of each company worldwide.
It's a compelling vision. And, behind tech like this, there's always the team. Who are the people driving this?
Right, the collective genius, as you put it. It's a really interesting founding team, actually. Seems like a great mix. You've got Ari Lampella, the CEO. Sounds like a strategic thinker, experience scaling tech globally, knows software adoption inside out.
Okay.
Then Abdul Osman, the CTO. He's described as a serial entrepreneur, a real hands-on builder, understands that balance between big ideas and actually making them work.
The practical side.
Exactly. And Walid Aranza, the CPO, he's a scientist, PhD in AI, apparently over 2 decades working specifically with NLP, LLMs, generative AI, deep expertise there.
Wow, yeah, decades in AI.
So you have strategy, execution, and deep AI science all coming together. Seems focused on merging that domain-trained AI with brand needs and practical workflows.
That combination sounds powerful. Has the market responded? Is this resonating?
It seems so. The validation sounds pretty rapid. They went from, initial chats and concept validation to a MVP, then alpha and beta releases that pulled in over 100 early users pretty quickly, just in a matter of weeks earlier this year.
That's fast adoption. Suggests they hit a nerve.
It really does. And crucially, people seem willing to pay for it. The validated price point suggests organizations see significant value here, ready to invest maybe 10, 20K per year.
Okay, real investment.
Yeah. And the market they're looking at, it's huge. Hundreds of thousands of tech SMEs globally who face these exact problems. And that number's growing incredibly fast, something like 46% CAGR. It feeds into this wider AI MarTech market that's projected to be, enormous, over $100 billion by 2028. It tackles both software spend and the labor costs associated with content.
So, a massive growing need. How are they structuring the pricing? And what about things like data security? Always a concern.
Good points. Pricing starts flexible, consumption-based. Importantly, it's per organization, not per user, which helps companies adopt it widely without costs spiraling per seat. Longer term, they're looking at impact-based pricing, tying the cost more directly to the success the customer achieves.
Interesting. Value-based.
Yeah. And on security and ownership, it sounds like standard best practices. Encrypted info, standard security protocols. Users retain 100% ownership of their content. That's key. And maybe most importantly for brands, your specific brand voice, your product details, kept private. Not used to train models for anyone else, your secret sauce stays secret.
That's crucial for trust.
Absolutely. Plus, there's support email, Slack, onboarding, continuous updates to the platform and the AI models, keeping it cutting edge.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, it feels like AI isn't just tweaking content marketing for tech SMEs. It's offering a fundamental shift. It tackles those core pain points head on. The resource limits, the complexity barrier, the need for consistency, the drive for scale. By using this kind of specialized AI, tech companies can finally get scalable, consistent, effective communication going.
Yeah.
Turn great products into well-known and successful brands.
Exactly. And what's really fascinating, I think, is how this shifts the whole focus. It's not just about creating content anymore. It's more like engineering your market presence, building that pipeline. And that raises a really interesting question, doesn't it? As AI gets deeper into core business functions, how might these lessons, this transformation we're seeing in marketing, how might that apply elsewhere in a tech company? Could it fundamentally reshape how they innovate, how they operate, how they grow across the board? Something to think about, that growing interconnection between tech, marketing, and overall business strategy.
Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Music, or your favorite app, and connect with us on LinkedIn for more stories and insights.